Well, I figured let's get into some offensive line videos. I haven't made one of those in a while, and one of the guys who I've always been a big fan of is David Bakhtiari. One of the things that makes him one of the better tackles in this league is the fact that he has great lateral movement. He can move left and right as good as anybody. In 2017, he was the #1 left tackle by Pro Football Focus, and while he maybe took a little bit of a step back last year, not much of one, he was still a very effective tackle last year. To show his left and right movement, let's show this play, and you guys probably remember this game. And you almost definitely remember this play if you watched this game. It was the first Sunday night game when Aaron Rodgers had that incredible comeback while being hurt. And this was actually the touchdown that put him ahead. But look at Bakhtiari here. It's a 1-on-1 matchup, and Chicago is expecting some sort of a pass here. Partially a tell you could have is look at how far away that running back is from Rodgers. When you're standing a couple yards away and you have your hands sort of up like that, there's a good chance that you're either going to be blocking or running a route here and not actually taking the handoff. Granted, it could be a delay of some sort, but you're going to expect a pass here. And so Bakhtiari, knowing that there's a good chance Chicago is expecting a pass, is also going to try to break out to the right side of the screen as far as possible, as there probably is going to be a bear going in that direction as well. And so look at this first step Bakhtiari has. I mean, that's just an incredible first step. And if you're a bear, you're saying, oh man, well, there goes my first step. Now I just have to overpower him or something. It's going to be very tough for me to try to get around here. And that bear actually is going to continue to try to get around Bakhtiari, but it's just not going to work out as well, as you see by this second step. I mean, it takes him a long time to even initiate the contact, and when he finally does, he's still not in good position at all. Having good feet is exactly what you want, and look at that push that he's able to have on that bear. It's just the perfect hand placement that you want there, and he's going to be able to push that bear behind Rodgers, and Rodgers will now have as long as he wants to make a throw. Rodgers was even able to cut over to where Bakhtiari was for a second because there's no one in that area, and then he was actually able to make that throw. You know, the offensive line don't get the credit on those big plays, but Bakhtiari definitely did his role in that play. If he got beat, there was no chance that play was going to work out. But not only did he get beat, but he really owned his 1-on-1 matchup and gave Rodgers all the time in the world to make a throw. I mean, you know, offensive linemen don't get any credit for being clutch sometimes. He made a clutch block on that one. I mean, really, there's just as much pressure in the offensive line in that situation as there is in a receiver or a quarterback. I mean, they have just as much butterflies as anyone else. They are still humans. And honestly, you can almost argue more so, because an offensive lineman isn't going to get any credit for a game-winning touchdown. However, they will get all of the blame if they miss their block and allow a sack. But in a high-pressure situation, Bakhtiari did exactly what he was supposed to do there, and it led to a touchdown. So that's what he can do when he does exactly what he's supposed to do. But what happens when he does not exactly what he's supposed to do? What happens when things go wrong? Can he still recover? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I have a perfect example of him doing just that. He has a 1-on-1 matchup against that Atlanta Falcon right there, and he's expecting the Falcon to go in that direction, to the right side of the screen. However, that's not going to work out at all, and he's actually going to cut to the left, and now this is just a bad situation for Bakhtiari. I mean, Bakhtiari just has one hand on a Falcon, now he's going to have to try to push a man with just one arm to try to get him over. I mean, how is he going to be able to do that? And the answer to that is he's going to be able to do it because he's a really strong guy. Look at how he's able to just hold him off enough to allow Rodgers to have time to make a throw. Again, that was a bad play. You know, that was a failure by Bakhtiari. But what I'm trying to show with that play is that every guy is going to have failures from time to time. But that could have been a colossal failure that resulted in an interception, but instead it was really just ended up being a nothing play. I mean, he did his part in that one. Granted, Rodgers didn't have much more time to try to make a throw somewhere else. If he wanted to throw it to somebody else, he wouldn't have had time to do so. When you have a guy like that who, you know, on half of his bad plays, they still end up okay, that's definitely something you really want, especially in the left tackle position, which is probably the most important position on that offensive line. And it's definitely the most important position in terms of the passing game, unless, of course, you have a left-handed quarterback. There was also this play in Soldier Field where it's going to be play action to the left side of the screen, and he's going to be going one-on-one against Khalil Mack here, which most guys don't like to go one-on-one against. I mean, Mack's the kind of guy who makes any tackle look silly in a one-on-one block, so you definitely aren't looking forward to going against him, but in fairness, you know, it is a play action, so he has that little advantage. Mack isn't sure exactly who he's going to have to run at, so that's kind of an advantage to Bakhtiari here. But one thing I like about Bakhtiari is look at how he's going to sell this play action right off the bat, because he runs over and he attacks Mack, which usually you wouldn't do in a passing situation. If this was just a straight up pass, you'd kind of let Mack come to you a little bit, because you don't need to get every little inch possible, and you're not trying to move Mack in any way, you're just trying to prevent him from getting to your quarterback. But now that he's done that, look at how he's able to really just grip both shoulder pads from Mack, which in theory you could say is just a terrible idea to do, and why would you ever want to do something like that? Because now you have both your arms on Mack, and you can't really get much power on him, and Mack could just run straight over you because of how strong he is. But the problem with that, of course, is that Bakhtiari is also really strong, and so Mack does push him back a little bit, but just nowhere near enough that he would want to try to get to Rodgers. And one other thing about being very strong and also having great footwork is it kind of can create more advantages even when you're not actually having great footwork or making very strong plays. Kind of just the threat of being a great left tackle can sometimes do all the work for you, and this play will show you what I mean. It's a one-on-one matchup against that Jet right there, and basically look at how long that Jet is going to take until he actually gets to Bakhtiari. He's going to dance around back and forth, and by the time he finally actually gets to Bakhtiari, Rodgers is already ready to make a throw. Bakhtiari didn't do anything on that play. It was Bakhtiari's presence that did everything. He's created a reputation of being a great left tackle, and obviously for a very good reason. He's a very good left tackle. So that's my video on David Bakhtiari. I figured these kind of quick videos are perfect to give some offensive linemen some love, and especially when it's a guy like Bakhtiari who is such a talented player and has been for quite some time now.